25 finalists for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Do you really need the person who hurt you to tell you, I hurt you, and I'm sorry, and I feel awful that I did it? It's beautiful to get it, but do you need it? Do you not know how painful the pain was when you experienced it? Do you need them to tell you how painful it was and give you permission to feel it? You don't need it. You want it. The one who broke you cannot heal you. You have to heal you. You can't expect the person who broke you into pieces to bring those pieces and say, I'm going to put you back together. You can't do that. You can, but why would you choose to do that? Someone who has the power to destroy you and uses that power, why would you trust them with rebuilding you?
Oh, the seeds of dependency. Oh, man, it's more addictive than sugar. I know you guys don't want to hear it put this way. Yes, I'm being a little harsh and a little abrasive. But so what? We have to lean into the work. Krishnamurti said it this way. He said, live with it. You live with pleasure, don't you? Why don't you live with suffering completely? Can you live with it in the sense of not escaping from it? What takes place? Watch. The mind is very clear, sharp. It is faced with the fact. The very suffering transformed into passion is enormous. From that arises a mind that can never be hurt, full stop. That is the secret. Maybe it went over your head. From that arises a mind that can never be hurt. From what? The mind is very clear, sharp. It is faced with the fact. The very suffering transformed into passion is enormous. Do you understand? The pain is the fuel for the purpose. Do you understand? Once you reach your true purpose, which is what? Self-knowledge, the cultivation of self-understanding. Why I behave this way, why I'm reactionary in this moment, right? And then in this moment, I respond. Why is it so difficult for me to respond in difficult moments, right? But it's easy for me to respond in moments that are not difficult. I'm going to react in a difficult moment, but I'm going to respond in an easy moment. Do you see? Why am I like that? The moment is difficult, I react. The moment is not difficult, I respond. How can I flip it? Or how can I make both moments a moment where I take a beat and respond? Do you see? We are selfish and greedy. We only want what we can get. And you say, well, what am I getting? Quiet for your wound. Supply for your unhealed wound. But just know with the supply comes addiction, spiritual addiction, physical addiction, emotional addiction, psychological addiction. If they're giving you what you want or what the wound wants, dependency and the roots of it start to set in because you've never learned how to give all of these things to yourself. This is why it's guaranteed that the one will hurt you. Tonight's topic. The one will hurt you. Let's get back to Najee, New Jersey.
Yeah, what's up, Zoe?
Man, it's a lot of books, man. It's a lot of books. I would say, to be honest with you, do the first book, The Relationship Dismount. Okay. I would say get The Relationship Dismount. You can get a physical copy, a paperback from Amazon.com. I would say go to Amazon.com, order The Relationship Dismount, paperback, and read that. Okay. I've had 2 or 3 people do their dissertation on that book. Right? It's a serious book. And as I was breaking down in hour number 1, we were talking about the concept of kintsukuroi or kintsugi, the Japanese teapot ceremony that turned into an art form after a shogun's teapot was broken. He threatened everybody. He said, listen, if you guys can't put that back together, heads are going to roll. And he got the greatest artisans in the city at that time to figure out a way to put it back together. They initially tried to put his teapot back together with staples. And, of course, it was Frankenpot at that point. He didn't like the way it looked. So then he, I guess heads rolled. And then people got a little bit more creative, and then they discovered gold joinery, where they take an adhesive and sprinkle gold dust or any other semi-precious metal, silver, and what happened was all of the cracks in the pot, when placed back together, through the art of kintsukuroi, it took off. People started breaking their plates and pots on purpose because it was so beautiful. Every crack, every vein was filled with gold. So it became an art form. And now the philosophical piece to that, and people, I swear, I put this book out 10 years ago, The Relationship Dismount. People will say this and won't lay the credit where it's due. Cite your sources. The whole philosophical piece to that is you can become even more beautiful after having been broken. But we live in a society that is so fearful and afraid of being broken or at least acknowledging their brokenness that it's hard to participate or practice kintsukuroi. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And, just to kind of like share and touch on a topic, just even with my last relationship and why I say I appreciate you now, because it's more or less like you're putting the pieces together. Even with citing your sources, you know what I'm saying? As I go through this journey, I have a female cousin, and I introduced her to you. So if I get to talking and I, because I'm very I want to know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to talk. So, like you said, cite your sources. So I said, listen, I want you to listen to Zoe Williams. And when we started talking about the attachment styles, and she called me and we're talking, and she started to more or less look outward. Like, oh, this is why this person does this. I said, no. I said, cuz, identify why you do what you do. This ain't about identifying the other person. Because even in my other relationship, which I think I was dealing with a somebody that was very anxious, very insecure. And I said to her one day when we was talking, and we was not, I guess, talking or arguing, and it felt like I was back in my grandmother's house. The way she was talking to me, just accusatory, condescending. And I'm like, wow. And she got offended. She said, don't compare me to your grandmother. And I'm just like, but it felt so familiar. But
so let me
I
guess.
left out of that relationship.
Let me guess. For you, those type of conversations are automatically identified as conflictual, and you tend to want to pull back, right?
Right. So when she's anxious, she wants to talk, I become dismissive, avoidant.
Look at it.
And
now,
that's what I used to do in my grandmother. When my grandmother would come down on me, when my stepfather would come down on me, I would withdraw.
Let me stop you, bro. She's in your life so you can see yourself. So Krishnamurti, again, relationship is a mirror. Well, the dismissive avoidant, fearful avoidant, who has both, disorganized, they have both core wounds of anxious, preoccupied, and dismissive avoidance. Inside, the dismissive avoidant wants connection. They want it. But when they get it, they push it away. Why? Because you've conditioned yourself after you explain, I felt like I was in my grandmama's house. My granddaddy did it to me. That's how dismissive avoidance conditioned themselves to self-soothe. They had primary caregivers that weren't emotionally attuned, and their full emotional spectrum was not embraced. It was almost like, be quiet, don't say that. What are you doing? You talking too much. You should be seen, not heard. All of that stuff, right?
Right.
Do you see? You attract somebody who's anxious. Their
very, very anxious.
Exactly, and there's no very. She was just anxious. Both of those are both insecure attachment styles: dismissive, avoidant, and anxious, preoccupied. They're attracted to each other because they see a piece of themselves in each other. The anxious, preoccupied is running after you, chasing you. Come here, let me talk. Let's have this conversation. You see it as conflict. You withdraw. No, don't leave. I don't mean it. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, brother. I'm trying to talk to you. No. This conflict remind me of my grand. She's not your grandparent. But please understand, as an anxious, preoccupied, she's chasing you because she thinks you're the answer. But internally, she's doing what you're doing to her as she chases you. Internally, she's running from herself, which is why she's running towards you. Do you see?
Definitely see.
Do you see? So, and guess what? That's going to keep happening. Whether you stay with her or you go somewhere, that dynamic is going to keep happening in your life until you reconcile it within yourself. Every attachment style can be recontextualized. And in my latest book, The Shrouded Lighthouse, I said, chapter 14, pick up the pen of self-authorship. You got to release, let go, forgive. You got to do a lot of work to recontextualize that early childhood experience that made you feel like, if I'm in a difficult conversation with a person I'm in relationship with, I automatically get transported back to my grandmama's house. It's not conflict, but the dismissive avoidant does not like conflict. And they will take a contentious conversation or a hard conversation and be like, you coming at me. This is negative. This ain't cool. I'm pulling back. Safety in aloneness for a time. Does that make sense?
No, that definitely makes sense. And but Zoe, I recognize that, right? But in our conflict, I just recognized that in me, and the only thing I would act was time. So if we were in conflict, I would pause. And if the conversation was getting hostile, I just ask a request. Hey, listen, can we pause? And can we, because I know me.
Right.
And if I'm getting frustrated, if the conversation becomes, because at times it will become draining.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like an exercise going back and forth with her. And I say, hey, listen, can we just put a period here and just come back? No, let's talk about it now.
No, I could smoke a bag of that, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing to do. But at some point, if you want to pick up the pen of self-authorship and rewrite your dismissive avoidant narrative, at some point, you're going to have to stand in that storm. Do you see how you, and I understand the dismissive avoidance. Well, I need time. Okay, I'm going to give you time. But let time be a training wheel that has to come off at some point, because it is an exercise and you've built up your resistance and resilience to wanting to run away. So at some point, you have to be able to say, whether this is a contested, a heated discussion, I am here. I am present. Regardless of how I feel, I'm going to lean into it. See, the dismissive avoidant has to learn how to lean in, while the anxious preoccupied has to learn how to pull back. So you guys have to meet each other in the middle. Dismissive avoidance go, conflict, I'm out. Soon as you say I'm out, anxious preoccupied says, hold on, let's talk. So what has to happen is anxious has to say, you're right, I'm going to give you some time. But it can't be indeterminate. You can't say, oh, I need a little bit of time, and then disappear for 4 weeks.
Right.
Boundaries, plans. Stay with me, Najee. We cooking. When we come forward, I'm going back to New Jersey one more time, and then we're going to talk to the rest of the folks.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Who cares about the black community in Altadena? We do. On Saturday, March 8th at 10 a.m., it's the premiere of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This new weekly show will explore the deep roots and resilience of Altadena's black community as we track its recovery and reimagine its future. From relief efforts to rebuilding, we're raising up voices, stories, and solutions to build back Black Altadena better and stronger than ever. It's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, every Saturday at 10 a.m. beginning Saturday, March 8th, with an encore presentation, Sundays at noon.
James Farr, the man who is the voice for Black Los Angeles.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So you've found a safe relationship with a trustworthy partner, but you find yourself taking things that they say too personally, refusing to talk about your feelings even though you know it would help you get closer. Maybe you criticize your partner for stupid things, or you even accuse them of things that you know that they didn't do. You keep trying to protect yourself by doing things that end up hurting your relationship. And you find that you make the same mistakes over and over again. This leads to a repeated pattern of failed relationships because you find it impossible to feel close and to feel safe at the same time. Yep, this is relationship self-sabotage. I'm going to focus on why childhood trauma leads to repeated self-sabotage in your relationship. First of all, whether you were hurt by a person that you were in relationship with, like a parent or an abusive partner, or if you were hurt because someone you were in relationship with failed to protect you, childhood trauma happens within the context of relationships, and it holds relationship consequences. So the only thing that you need to feel triggered in a way that would lead to trying to protect yourself is to be in relationship. Think about this. While you were growing up, the people around you were the people that you were closest to. Now in adulthood, you're looking for someone who you can also be closest to. If the people you've been closest to hurt you or fail to protect you, then getting close isn't safe as far as your trauma brain is concerned.
Najee.
Yes, sir.
Who is that lady talking to?
I mean, it sound like she talking to me.
It don't sound. I know she talking to you. She ain't talking to me. She talking to you.
And you know what though? She also talking to my ex too. But identifying all of that in me, you know what I'm saying? But I still identify that. That's the thing is this, like with my last relationship, I can say that and when you say relationships is a mirror, this was the first time that I really, truly, you know what I mean, as I was a dismissive avoidant, I did open up to this woman. And it was kind of liberating that, you know, at times when I did open up and we got into situations, I made myself vulnerable. And I've revealed to her things in my past and things about me.
Do you know why you opened up?
You know what? I opened up because I valued the relationship and I wanted her to understand, like, you know what I mean, why, you know what I mean? And at me trying to make her understand why I'm behaving the way I'm behaving, I was also making myself understand, like, what's going on with me.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me help you. Just let me offer something to you. You opened up to her because she made you feel safe, which is something you have been looking for since childhood. Does that make sense? Does that resonate?
It definitely makes sense.
Now
it backfired on me though.
But let me say why. The safety must come from within. Her making you feel safe as an anxious preoccupied was the performance she learned in early childhood. If I perform for my parent, I might get the attention. So let me perform for him by making it seem like it's a safe space, right? A safe space doesn't have strings attached. If you do this, then I'll do that. Do you see?
Right.
Do you see? That's what happened. So you accepted her offer because that's what you've always wanted, was safety. But you weren't told that safety is an inside job too. Imagine if you provided the safety you sought from your parent. You would never seek it from your partner. And whether they gave it to you, that's good, that's cool, that's nice. Or not, you would still be secure. Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, let me just say this, brother. Guess what you just did?
Brought New Jersey in the building.
New Jersey is in the building. New Jerusalem. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we got Hawaii and we got Houston on board. Get in here if you want to talk about it.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Mississippi Senate has approved new district maps, adding a majority black district after a federal order. 10 special elections will be held with primaries on August 5th and the general election on November 4th. Savannah, Georgia plans to revitalize a historic black district with a $50,000 project, including removing the I-16 flyover and linking it to tourism. The project runs through 2029. Illinois Public Schools has decided to keep teaching LGBTQ+, Black and Asian American history despite federal warnings. State officials say it's required by law and the warning lacks legal weight. And some Broward County, Florida residents are supporting President Trump's plan to prioritize resettling South African Afrikaners. They cite rising violence with reports of farmers rushing to the U.S. Embassy for help. Supporters say conditions in South Africa are becoming increasingly dangerous. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Wake up on the right side of breakfast with new banana French toast sticks for $3.49 from Jack in the Box. Crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. and served with chocolate dipping sauce. This is what Jack means by so much more.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I just want to know one thing. When you feel really hurt by something or someone, a situation, people, or whatever, how correct or incorrect is it to move away despite making one attempt to try and clarify things?
When was the last time somebody stabbed you with a knife? They never did. Okay, when was the last time somebody poked you with a pin at least? No? They ignored you. This is not nice. So when you talk about causing pain, someone else can cause physical pain to you. They can injure you. That's different. Mentally, all pain is caused by you and nobody else but you. Somebody is doing what they like to do and you get hurt.
No, but should we choose to walk away from
Will come. First of all, why are you hurt? That's all I'm asking. If you start doing that, you'll be walking away from everybody, because everybody will hurt you. There is no such perfect human being who will not hurt you. Everybody will hurt you. If you're waiting for that perfect on the white horse knight, there is no such man, believe me.
Man, Sad Guru cooked them up real quick with that one. Let's get these phone lines. Listen. We getting close, but I want to get everybody in. Let's go. John, Mountain View, Hawaii, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Greetings and blessings. Again, I'll be brief. Stephanie Mills has got me thinking about her legs, but nonetheless.
Boy, Stephanie Mills' legs. I was a little youngster back in the 80s. She was, woo, Lord.
Have mercy, O Lord.
Little track body. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. Go ahead, brother. Finish.
Well, bless you too. But anyway, in the confines of what we're seeking as the one, and if the balance of the mirror is already there, instead of love, should you be seeking truth?
How about it? The truth of self, who you are, how you got here, what helped create your thought process, right? Your behaviors, your patterns. Like this is what it is. This is the work. This is what we call self-work, self-realization, right? But that's difficult and it hurts, right?
Okay, but you've been living this life in hurt and in pain, and you haven't been complaining a whole lot about it, have you?
Come on,
check your bank account. Is it millions of dollars, or is it just 1,000 that you're barely getting by with at the end of the month?
Come on, man. Keep talking. I'm listening. Go ahead.
The whole point of this life is the tough times are supposed to polish you and make you the perfect being you're supposed to be. The pearl of great price went through a polishing. It's a rough edge made smooth, so it's made perfect for you and me.
Wow. That's right.
if you're not going to endure what you need to go through to get to that process, you'll always run from yourself. God bless you, because I still don't know how people get stage flight in the midst of life.
Wow.
You standing still and yet in motion. What cerebral vacation do you need to take this time?
But you know, like I know, true healing looks like the devil to many people. That's why I said what I said earlier this week when I said love. Love is really a red flag for a lot of people who have been cultured and raised in neglect, right? In abuse. So when they see love, it's like, what in the strange, what is that? You know? They can't recognize it because their normal, their known is hurt, is wounded. Go ahead.
I quote Carol Peterson in a very beautiful song. Her words were, "You and I can testify that love is a test unending." But if you're seeking the truth, just like Attila would say when she finally hears it, it's the word "ooh."
She probably would.
When you're seeking the truth, it is a word that you respond in like, you know what?
What in the world?
When you seek the truth, you finally take it like alcohol. It hits you hard, but you just say,
Right.
When you finally realize that you're in your truth, you can now finally take upon the dance of life that you need to take. And you know you love music, so let the music play. Understand your truth and get better.
Man, hey, John, guess what you just did, big brother?
Mountain View's in the house. Blessings to all. Love you, bro.
Come on, love you too, man. Hey, man, we on fire tonight. Get to the phone lines. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. I got time, right? I got time today. Let's get it. Attila, Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I texted you. It's all good. It's all good. You know, you helped me get off the ledge. It's fine. It brought me back to earlier this week and the nice little crash out that I had. But something that this is bringing up for me is a Bible verse that talks about faithful are the wounds of a friend. Yeah. I don't like being wounded. But the real truth about that is we're not even really friends to ourselves. Like, my mom used to say, like, to have a friend, you have to be a friend, right? But I mean, like, how would you know what that is if you've never seen that be modeled? If the people around you don't actually take care of themselves in the way that a friend would take care of them. Yes. And so when you say the one hurts, of course they hurt because you hurt. You hurt you. They hurt you. I mean, like it, right? Like it kind of like,
I'm listening.
Like, it tracks to me. Like, I think if there's anything that I've learned this week, it's just being okay with being injured. Like, low-key, I was kind of on my, like, evil, like, genius side of the game for a minute. Just, like, you made me bleed my own blood type shit. But, like, oops, almost cussed. But anyway, I don't know. I think it is good to be injured because how else would you know your limitations, right?
Wow. Do you know you just triggered something? That's such a powerful. I want to quote it. Somebody should quote that and tag me on Instagram. But our good friend Paramahansa Yogananda, I just like saying his name real fast because I know people can't pronounce it. Paramahansa Yogananda. He has something that's similar to it. He says the season of failure is the best time for sowing the seeds of success.
I saw that. You thought I was doing my research, honey. I was like, no, he didn't say that.
Yes, he
did.
did.
Say that.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. I think your soil is stronger within your internal weakness. I think we expect, you know what I'm saying? We expect the things around us and the things that we sow into to reflect our internal weakness, which is why we don't want to really show that we are, in fact, week.
Right.
In moments.
I love it. I love it. You know what you just did, don't you?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is on the board. You already know. When we come forward, oh, Lord. Quippy Quip, straight out of Naptown, back in the building. Quippy Quip gonna give us the nightcap for this topic. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, it's interesting, you know, often I'm asked, you know, like, and how did you become a Buddhist, you know? And I always say, well, I became a Buddhist because I hated my husband. So my situation was that in the second marriage, I actually talk about this in When Things Fall Apart. I was innocently drinking a cup of tea in front of our house in New Mexico and, on this beautiful day, and my husband walked around the corner and told me that he is having an affair with somebody and that he wanted a divorce. Then it turned out he had been having quite a few affairs with quite a few somebodies. So I was so undone by this. And I think actually I've met a lot of people since that for some reason divorce is always painful, and what you feel as betrayal is always very painful. But sometimes, more than other times, something completely is like an annihilation. Something that happens to you in your life like annihilates you. And I could not get any ground under my feet. And I felt so much anger and so much terror at my anger. And all of this was very unfamiliar to me. And I had managed pretty successfully up to that point in my life, and I think I was 35 or something like that, to kind of be easygoing and friendly and warm-hearted and always looking on the bright side. And wow, that was gone. I kept having all these fantasies about going up, burning down his house, and hurting her child, and breaking all the windows, and whoo, it was.
Pima Chodron, she's such an amazing spirit. I'm trying to bring as many amazing spirits to this platform as I possibly can, just so we can just have a deeper understanding of things. Well, you already know what it's time for. You know whose time it is. You know it's Quippy Quip. You already know Ronan with all the slick quips, man. Indianapolis in the building. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, brother?
This is an awesome topic because I sat there and thought about it with a major question. Did I want to remain an addict, or did I ever want to become ascendant?
Wow. Here we go. Addict or ascendant. Let's go, Quippy Quip. The first one on the board.
So when it came to being an addict, I was addicted to the idea of being of service or being of use. The feeling of what I missed from people I needed from. And then you become an addict to where you'll do anything with dopamine. And when it comes to addiction, you start doing things that you're not accustomed to doing. You start acting out of character. But when you decide you want to become ascendant, you learn how to master endurance. That love, if turned in wrong, it becomes idolatry. Wow. And the thing is that most times you'll worship the presence of somebody when you become absent from yourself.
Ooh, that's when they become worship worthy. When you are self-absent. I hear you cooking, man. Keep cooking.
So when it came to that, like when you come to showing that love to yourself and someone showing appreciation for that love, you start seeing great things. Like you start feeling that love around you, but then you basically cement that by doing what you love to do and who you are, showing more of yourself. Like as far as like in learning some of these lessons, because sometimes some of those people were those assignments you needed to have. That they taught you the cost of complacency, and some needed to break you to see the substance within you.
Man, I knew this was going to be what it was going to be. This boy come in and you be swinging for the fences, my brother. Guess what you just did, my friend?
Set Indianapolis on fire.
Naptown is in the building, man. When you get back on this side of town, we got to have another cigar. He came to the cigar lounge before. Come on, Ronan been out here before and kicked it with the brother. Man, there's nothing better than Krishnamurti to end it all. Now, is it possible to not be hurt at all? Because the consequences of being hurt are but the building of a wall around oneself, withdrawing into one's relationship with others in order to not be hurt more. In that, there is fear and a gradual isolation. Now, we are asking, is it possible not only to be free of past hurts, but also never be hurt again? He goes on to say, the word innocence means incapable of being hurt. To have a mind that is not capable of being hurt. Listen to what he's about to give you. To have a mind that is not capable of being hurt does not mean that it has built up a lot of resistance. On the contrary, such a mind is dying to everything that it has known, in which there has been conflict, pleasure, and pain. Boy, you got to die to the known. You're in pain for what you know, for what you recognize. You recognize the devil in them because the devil lives in you. You recognize discontent in them because you're self-discontented. I know you're not ready to hear it put that way, but that's the truth. You attract and magnetize what you are. If you're a manipulator, you will get one. If you're a liar to self, you will get a self-liar, and you guys will reflect those reflections back to each other until you recognize the work that is to be done internally. He goes on to say, only then is the mind innocent. That means it can love. You cannot love with memory. He's not playing right now. You cannot love with memory. Love is not a matter of remembrance, of time. I remember how you made me feel. You were the only one who made me feel that way. That's not love. That's a memory. He said you cannot love with memory. Love is now. Love is pure. Love is fresh. Love keeps you young. Love keeps you strong. It keeps you bonded. But you don't know a love like that because all you know is how to satiate a wound that won't let you go. Damn it, I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. Okay? It's up to you to finish it. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. This has been a wonderful week of slaptastic topics. I'm going to enjoy my Friday proper tomorrow. Hey, I love y'all. But guess what? I'm about to bounce like bad checks. I'll see y'all next week with another slew of fire topics. Let's get it.